The Ryzen 3600X. Why does this chip exist? Let's talk about it. Hey, welcome back to Axial GT. Today we'll be talking about the Ryzen 5 3600 versus the 3600X. Now, the higher end chips may be more popular and more discussed, but I'm a budget gamer and I'm always looking to get the most bang for my buck. Now, recently I've been watching some bigger YouTubers, or at least a lot bigger than me, push the 3600X like it's some value king, and I'm trying to figure this out. This is beyond me. See, like I said, I'm a budget gamer, so I have to get the most value out of every purchase that I make. You know, because I was born with nothing. And I'm very proud to say I still have most of it left. So let's take a look at both of these CPUs. The 3600 and the 3600X are both 6-core 12-thread parts. Both have the same 3 megabytes of L2 cache and 32 megabytes of L3 cache, and both support DDR4 3200 MHz memory. And now that I've stated the obvious, let's look at the differences. The 3600 Non-X has a base clock of 3.6 GHz and a boost of 4.2. The X variant has a 200 MHz increase in its base and a 400 MHz increase in its boost, plus the $50 difference between the processors. Now, looking at their specs, as a gamer, I will ruin the suspense. Other than improving AMD's margins, I don't really know why this CPU exists, and will probably never know why. Just like the other questions in life, like, what's the difference between fancy ketchup and normal ketchup? And why are little pieces of styrofoam called peanuts? And one of the biggest questions in life, why is it that you can pee and not poop, but you can't poop and not pee? And while you wrap your head around that one, let's go ahead and jump into some benchmarks so I can prove my point. As we look at Cinebench R20, the single core scores, the 3600 scores a 480, and the 3600X scores a 496. That's a 3% gain. And in multi-core, the 3600 scores a 3604, and the 3600X scores a 3684. That's only a 2% gain. Now we'll take a look at Assassin's Creed Odyssey. 1080p, very high settings. The average FPS, the 3600 scores a 98, the 3600X scores a 100. Now we'll look at Battlefield 5. 1080p, ultra settings. The 3600 scores a 147, the 3600X scores a 149. And just to dispel any confusion, when it comes to the TDPs of both chips, the only thing that makes the 3600 a 65 watt chip is its 65 watt cooler. And same goes for the 3600X and its 95 watt cooler. That's the only difference in the TDPs. Now, when it comes to overclocking, it's been my experience that the X chips might be slightly better binned, but you'll still only get maybe 1 to 200 more megahertz out of the X variants of chips. And in gaming, that usually equals to 1 to 2 more frames. Now, like I said before and earlier in the video, that there's some YouTubers out there that are pushing this 3600X. And I wish they would stop. Quit pushing it like it's the neatest thing since peanut butter. Because it's not. Now, I guess there could be some rare circumstances where the 3600X might be beneficial for an extra $50, but for the life of me, I can't see it. So save your money. Stick with the 3600 and enjoy your gaming. Well, that's it. That's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it informative. Don't forget to subscribe and click that like button. But until next time, I'm out of here. You all have a good one.